Hey everyone, welcome back to Scotting Movies. Um, Today we're diving into a film that is both exciting, it's a source of inspiration, as well as a topic of debate in the realm of educational cinema. It's the film called Stand and Deliver, directed by Ramon Menendez. Just in terms of a synopsis of Stand and Deliver, if you haven't seen it, it dramatizes the true story of Jaime Escalante, who was a mathematics teacher in, I believe, East LA, East Los Angeles, who kind of transformed the lives of his underprivileged students, most of whom were Hispanic and very low um, economic class. Uh, it was at James A. Garfield High School in East LA, and so facing a culture of really low expectations there at the high school, frequent gang violence, he challenged his students and the other teachers that they could reach their full potential. They could reach, as he says in the movie, they could reach the expectations that are set for them, even if they're higher than many would think about. In that sense, with his unconventional methods and relentless dedication, he sets this ambitious goal for them to pass advanced placement calculus by their senior year, and it gets a lot of pushback and a lot of skepticism from other faculty members. Suffers some severe personal setbacks, but he continues his unyielding belief in his students that they can do what they set out to do, so that they can get jobs, they can go to college, they can find success in their lives, and so their journey culminates in a controversial AP exam where the test results are called into question by um, higher ups, and so they have to fight to prove that what they did was in fact accurate and wasn't based on cheating. So that's the synopsis of the film. Um, so me, having taken AP courses myself in high school, I can tell you they're no joke. And for those of you who know and have taken AP courses as well, not calculus for me. For me, I mean, I still had to use an abacus, but um, I took AP literature and AP writing and those things in high school, and they really challenge you beyond what normal classes would. They demand a lot of you. I had the advantage of coming from a stable middle class home with all the technological perks of our modern life. You know, I had a calculator if it came to math. I had the internet that could help me. Um, Back in the 1980s, when this actual story was taking place, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have those kind of things, and they came from a really unstable point of view. And so it's what they were able to accomplish without all of those things of modern life or of kind of an easier home life really was truly remarkable. The film is inspiring, but I think it kind of paints a somewhat simplified picture of student dynamics. In my experience, some students are really gung ho about education. They're eager to jump right in, jump on that learning train, and especially if it's a way to prove themselves in a way that maybe they're not proving in other ways. A lot of people lean into education as being the way that I can go to college or I can do this, and especially if they're not succeeding in other areas of their life, like these a lot of these students probably were in East LA. There was a way for them to do that, and that makes sense. But every student, all of the students, as it really shows in this film, I very much doubt that. I don't think everyone would be on board as seamlessly as this movie seems to indicate. There would be resistance and arguments, and some who would tune out during lectures, some who might even drop out of the class entirely. People are different. Students are different. They have different learning experiences. They can't all start on that same level or finish on that same level. People think in different ways. I know people who can't um, do math the same way as other people, that they still have to count on their fingers, for example, while others are just, it just makes sense to them. And so people start and begin in different ways. That's not to say that some people can pass calculus while others cannot. I think everyone could. It's just that not everyone can be on the same trajectory at the same point at the same time, as this movie suggests it. And so it's a bit unrealistic. Um, and I think that that just comes to play as well when you're talking about a movie that's separating fact and fiction. This is based on a true story, and when you're trying to boil down something that in real life took 3 years into a movie that's an hour and 40 minutes, you have to compress some time. You have to say that things happened a lot quicker than they did in real life. And so I understand that, but it paints a picture that's a little too idealistic than maybe it was. Um, I do have to call out two performances in the film. Edward James Olmos as Jaime Escalante is remarkable in this movie. He brings a really crucial aspect of teaching to life. It's the ability to reach his students in a way that students require. He came from the same background. He came from the same East LA tough life, and so he's able to understand what these kids are going through rather than maybe someone who grew up on the other side of town. He understands that. He understands gang violence. He understands poverty. He understands domestic challenges and drug abuse and things like that. And so he met these students where they were. For example, there's a couple of students that come in with gang signs and making all these things on their fingers, and Jaime does he shows how to count numbers on your fingers and says, "Oh, you're the finger man. Let me show you what I can do with my fingers." And he teaches a lesson that way. He does the same thing later on, helping one of the students who really wants to learn, but also wants to look cool in front of his friends to get books both in his locker, at home, and in his backpack, so that he's never seen with the books. He can look cool, but he can still learn, and so he's really able to help that. And he and Edward James Olmos really shows up there. He's nothing short of spectacular, really, in the film. He brings a sense of humor. He brings resilience and warmth to the role, making him a character that you root for from start to finish. It adds that layer of authenticity that keeps you invested, even when the plot, as I've mentioned, feels a tad idealistic. Another one that I want to talk about is Lou Diamond Phillips, who plays, um, oh, I can't remember the name, but you'll see it on the screen right here. But he plays one of the students that he really stands out, delivering depth and complexity that goes beyond the typical gangster turned scholar trope. His character adds kind of a crucial perspective to the classroom dynamic. It's a kid that really wants to be there, really wants to learn, but he also wants to look cool in front of his friends, and he wants to maintain his aura of superiority. And so it's a really good performance by Lou Diamond Phillips as well. Um, so it Stand and Deliver does a fantastic job inspiring and engaging. I did wish that it showed a more nuanced view of student engagement. It's not just about rallying everyone within a school year, it's about the continuous effort, varied responses from real students. The film wraps up with a feel good resolution. As I mentioned, they have to prove that the results that they got in the test were in fact real. Uh, and they do. I mean, it does end that way, but let's remember again that the road to academic and personal redemption is rarely as smooth as this movie makes it seem. It's different for every person. It's different for every student. So that's it for Stand and Deliver. Uh, as far as a rating that I would give to this movie, which I forgot to do for the last one, that I for the Unbearable Lightness of Being, which by the way I gave an A minus to. Anyway, Stand and Deliver, I would probably give a B minus. Um, it's a really good watch. I think you should see it, but again, go in knowing that there's some unrealistic portraits of what maybe really happened just because of the time constraints within a 100-minute movie. So again, that's it for today's deep dive. on Scotty movies. Thanks for joining me in this thoughtful exploration of Stand and Deliver. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a review, like, whatever it is. Stay tuned for more insights and reviews on the movies that move us. And we'll see another movie next time. Thanks, everyone.